Situation is undescribable.
Are you afraid sometimes?
No, I think that we lost that sense, fear. I felt like I will just faint in front of I do have the remains and the ashes of my home back in
hospital, mostly
Gaza.
women, mostly children. I mean, this
First
is
thing that
undescribable. This
Gazans
is like
need
a massacre.
is a ceasefire. This should just stop now.
Nice to meet you, Noor Harazeen. First, I want to thank you for coming a long way here from Gaza and talking to us.
First of all, I'm very happy to be here in China. I mean, it's my first time. I never thought that I will be able to make it outside of Gaza.
Could you please share with us what it was really like to live there as an ordinary person?
How is it to live in Gaza? I mean, it is a struggle. It is a struggle. It's a hardship. I mean, you should struggle to survive. It looks like the people of Gaza are living in this triangle of death, if we can call it, because they could get killed actually for so many reasons. It is not only about the bombs and the attacks and the war that is happening now in Gaza, but no, there is other issues too. There is the war of starvation. There is not a lot of humanitarian aid that is being allowed in Gaza. There is no food infrastructure in Gaza, and at the same time, at the other side, you have the problem of the displacement. People have to evacuate every few months, every few weeks. It depends on your situation and where did you evacuate. According to the UN, Gaza needs at least 1,000 humanitarian aid trucks a day to meet the needs of the people. However, what is being allowed now is between 10 to 50 humanitarian aid trucks, which is not enough to meet the needs of the people. So yes, people in Gaza have reached the point where they have to eat animal feed, where they sleep at night while they are hungry, where they have to share the very little.
I think many people have to also deal with their relatives passed away.
This is not the first Israeli war on Gaza, and Palestinians on the ground, they keep on receiving these shocking news, this mental shock, this trauma. Also, another personal story of mine, at the beginning of this war, like 1 month into this war, I lost a very dear friend to me. Her name is Islam. She was killed in an Israeli airstrike on the Al-Nusayrat refugee camp. The day that Islam was killed, I had a mental breakdown. I had like a trauma that I just don't want to remember because it was a very tough thing on me. But since then, and after the killing of Islam, I lost 24 members of my family, but I did not shed a tear. And it is not because I am not sad, but I think it is because of the trauma that I got after the killing of Islam. And I just had to live through it, to cope with it. And I knew at that point that no matter whatever happens to me or my family, I need to keep working. I need to still get the message of the people of Gaza and what is happening in Gaza to the outside world.
Why do you think this conflict is so different?
I actually never thought that this war will last for this long, for almost 8 months. I never thought that this war will also turn our lives upside down, like turn the life of more than 2.3 million Gazans upside down. While I lost my home in Gaza, it was destroyed because basically the whole area where I reside was destroyed. My own business, and I have my own business in Gaza, was also destroyed. Now I have evacuated to Egypt, and while I am staying in Egypt, I still consider myself as a displaced Palestinian because I am not a refugee in Egypt. I am not a resident in Egypt, but I do have the remains and the ashes of my home back in Gaza, so I consider myself as a displaced Palestinian for now until we go back to Gaza. And this so much reminds us of what happened in the catastrophe of 48 when thousands of Palestinians were forced to leave their homes. And it actually reminds me of all of these stories that my mother used to tell me about her mother and her grandmother of the day when they had to evacuate their homes in the Palestinian land. So yes, we never thought that it's going to be such a struggle.
I watched the video you evacuating your children. Is that very hard for you?
Well, yes, it was a hard and an easy decision to make. I always say that. It was easy because it was the right thing to do. It was just the right thing for me to just evacuate my children outside of Gaza, because most of the Israeli strikes were random. They targeted houses, homes, streets, open air areas, hospitals, schools, and thousands of children were killed. So the right thing to do back then is to evacuate my children, and at the same time to offer them a better life. I mean, my children actually slept several nights without eating. They were hungry, and they would tell me like, "Mom, I'm hungry, I need to eat." I struggled so much after evacuating Bassam and Sarah. I mean, I remember that I took a whole week off from reporting, from doing any lives, appearing on the TV, doing any packages, because I could not produce anything. I just could not do it.
How do Gazans view this conflict? What do they want most now? Peace with Israel or something else?
Well, for now, the first thing that Gazans need is a ceasefire. This should just stop now. It has been almost 8 months now. 35,000 Palestinians have been killed. 10,000 others were missing. If you go out in the streets of Gaza now and you ask them, like, what would you pick? Humanitarian aid now for 24 hours all the day long, or the stop of this war? They would tell you, we will choose a ceasefire. This war need to be stopped.
Do you believe in the two-state solution? How do you see the future of Gaza?
There have been 57 years where Palestinians are fighting for their right of existence. Seeing what is happening in Gaza and seeing the Israeli aggression on Gaza, it gives you this idea that the Israeli side does not want the two-state solution. Even if the Palestinian people wanted a two-state solution, we are not sure if the Israeli side really wanted.
Are you afraid sometimes?
No. I think that we lost that sense, fear. I don't think that we do feel it. Maybe we fear for our loved ones, but we don't fear for ourselves. As long as you are in Gaza, your life is under a threat of being killed. It does not matter if you are a civilian, a militant. It does not matter if you are a woman, a child, a man. It does not even matter if you are actually a Palestinian or a foreigner, because there is also a number of foreigners that were killed by Israeli strikes in Gaza. Adding all the problems of the cutting of the electricity, the starvation, no food, no water. I mean, in so many occasions I felt like I will just faint in front of the camera, like while doing the live, but we still keep strong to be able to tell the story from the Palestinian side. I had this thought, like, if I leave, who's gonna do my job? Who's gonna tell the world what is happening actually in Gaza? And I did not leave until I made sure that there is someone else that is now doing my job.
But are you afraid sometimes?
Afraid?
Yeah.
No.